What's going on, world? And welcome to Clearing the Wreckage Podcast. It's the voice and your host, Kareem A. Rashid. And once again, I don't know what you got going on. You could be getting on the toilet, or you could be getting off the toilet. Hell, for all I know, you could be wiping your tushy. But I know that I'm ready, and so I hope that you're ready to clear the wreckage. Yes, indeed. What's going on with you today, my peeps, my fellows, my fellow Wreckage Clearers? What's going on with you? I hope you have had an amazing week learning how to have some compassion, will you? Learning how to love yourself and return home. Yes. Today, my question for you as we meet is, are you ready for love? We just go ahead and get right into it. Are you ready for love? Well, first, I want to tell you thank you, and that I am filled with love for you, that you are extending your love to me by listening to Clearing the Wreckage Podcast every single week. And can you believe that we have made it to our 61st conversation today? That means if you can do the math, there are 52 weeks in a year that we have crossed that margin of the year. And let's just give ourselves a congratulatory clap, shall we? Woo! There has been so many downloads so far of Clearing the Wreckage Podcast. I am not going to state the number to you, because truthfully, the numbers don't really matter. What matters to me is your heart behind this, and that you are willing to be with me along this journey. You have been with me for 61 weeks along this journey. Thank you. And with that, go and share this with someone. Say, hey, man, I've been listening to this guy. His name's Kareem, and he has a podcast called Clearing the Wreckage. I think you just check it out. It's really been helping me in my life, and I just really enjoy listening to his story. And that's all he's doing, is sharing his story. He's sharing his experience with the world, and man, I really enjoy it. So I hope that you should check it out as well. And then just go ahead and do that and pass it along for me, please. And that's all I ask. Are you ready for love is my question to you today. If you have took to heart the last few episodes, we talked about loving yourself. And then I think you are ready for love. For me, at that point in my journey, let's go back, as I always take you back, because I am telling you my story and my experience that I can only share with you. So for me, at that point in my journey, folks, I for sure was ready for love. Yes, I have been clearing the wreckage and learning more about myself, and I began loving myself as I am. And this was key for me to be able to give that love to others. Because first and foremost, my friends, we must love ourselves. You know how the saying goes. There was one person, one great being that said it himself to us all. Love your neighbor as yourself. Why would he say love your neighbor as yourself? Have you ever really even took the time to think about that? Because when you really look at it, and when you hear this man say, love your neighbor as yourself, you're kind of like, that doesn't really make any sense. But when you think about it, it makes so much sense, because what he is saying is, and what I am going to convey to you, is that first and foremost, my friends, we must love ourselves. And you know my story, right? I disliked myself. I did not like who I was. Hell, I even did not like that I was here. I did not like the way that I thought about myself. And that dislike, of course, is what led me to disliking everyone else. I resented myself and everyone else. And thank God that we are past that point in my journey. Thank God that I surpassed that point and overcame that, and I began to take the time to look inside so that the wreckage can begin to clear. Now I can stand before you, I can sit amongst you and with you, alongside of you, and share my experience with you. And folks, the reason we discuss loving yourself first is because you cannot. You cannot. And when I say this, I am saying this with extreme emphasis. You cannot love others until you love yourself. That's why. That is why. If you're wondering from one of the episodes, I will love you until you love yourself. Remember that conversation we had? If you're wondering why these people said it, that is why these people said that to me. We will love you until you love yourself. They were able to love me just as I am. Why? Because those people had love for themselves. Yes, they knew. They knew. It was sort of like they were saying to me, hey, Kareem, guess what? We get it. We totally get it. We know exactly where you are in life because we have been exactly where you are. We once did not have any love for ourselves. That's what they were saying to me. We once were in your shoes. We once walked a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles in the same pair of shoes that you're wearing. We once lived a life filled with self-loathing. We once lived a life filled with self-pity. We once lived a life filled with self-hatred, low self-esteem, low self-worth. We once did not like ourselves. We once did not even know who we were. Listen, Kareem, we get you. We are here for you. We love you just as you are. That is what they were saying to me. That is what they were saying to me. And I'm sure for some of them, somebody before them came into their life and loved them just as they were. So they were able now to pass along this love only because they loved themselves. So you cannot pass along love if you do not have it to pass along. It's simple. Just like you cannot give money to anyone if you do not have it. If someone asks you for a nickel and you don't have one, then there's nothing you can do except say, well, I'm sorry, I do not have a nickel. My bad. Sorry, I don't even have one. All you can do is check your pockets and be like, well, dang, I ain't even got a nickel. I can't give you one. I don't have it. That's all you can do. So my question is for you, are you ready for love? And maybe there are people dying to receive love, in need of love. Hell, in fact, that's all of us. That is all of humanity. Because that is what we need, love. But if you do not have love to give, then you can't give it. If you do not have it to give, then you can't give it. Then those people around you continue to suffer. They continue to live in a world where they have not experienced love. And you don't even know what these people have been through, what they're going through. They need love, just like you need love, my friend. So let's just begin talking a little bit about my journey. Let's start from there and how I was then ready for love. And this love that I was ready to give was not just a romantic love, or in Greek, an eros love. Eros is how you say it in Greek, because that is the type of love that means romantic love. It was more of a agape love. It was the love that I was giving to myself that was ready to be extended. In other words, self was ready to extend to another self. Yes. And the person that was closest to me that was able to receive that love, or that I was able to show that love to or give that love to at that time, was my ex-wife. In 2017, I was ready for love. I was ready to extend myself to another. I got married. This is part of my journey. Back in 2017, that is what happened. I was ready. I was ready to give my love to her. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole story, not on this conversation or this episode at all. Just know this for a fact, that this person was loved just as she was. Why? Because I was loving myself just as I am. So I was now able to extend that. And when I tell you that I loved her, I really did. Genuine love, not expecting anything in return. And if she was here with me today, sitting by my side, she could vouch and say, yes, this man really loved me. And he did not expect anything in return. Now, how many of us get into relationships expecting something in return? Raise your hand. I'm raising my hand. Because that's what I used to do. So, I can be honest with you. That was me. Before I became this new person or this new spirit that was formed in me, I always wanted something in return. There had to be some benefit that I was receiving or intending to receive from you, or else I would not have been around you. Period, point blank. Simple as that. I'm not coming around you. I'm not going to be in a relation with you unless I'm receiving something. But this time it was different. I was a new being, simply because I not only did the work in clearing the wreckage, but also I was loving myself genuinely. So I was able to pass that along to her now. And I use her as an example only because at that time, she was the one I was able to give all my love to. That includes the romantic love, the eros love, and that genuine love, that agape love. I was able to give all of that to her, right? But let's go ahead and talk about in ways of just agape love. We're just talking about in general, loving people genuinely. So let's talk in general ways how we can love others and how I begin to love everyone, not only her, around me, genuinely. First, I was deeply interested in learning more about myself. The same was for others. I became genuinely interested in others. So are you genuinely interested in other people? And I think we talked about this before. Do you just walk around, you just go about your day, go about your life? Yeah, you may have some small talk with someone, hey, how you doing? And everybody says the same response. I'm fine, I'm good. Nobody gets deep with anyone. Especially these days, nobody does that anymore because nobody is interested in anybody else. We have an epidemic, folks. We have a problem. The reason why you are not interested in other people is because you do not love yourself and because you are not genuinely interested in yourself. In fact, it might even be the opposite. Because if you loved yourself, you will be genuinely interested in extending that love to other people and getting to know someone for who they are. Not, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. Not just, oh, let me just, wave to the world on social media. Hi, And you won't be interested in these meaningless encounters with others, such as, i.e., social media. It is a meaningless encounter if you're using it for that way. I use my social media, of course, to connect with people in a genuine way, just like I'm doing this podcast. But the epidemic is that we are all walking around here not loving ourselves genuinely, fully. Because we don't have the capacity to do so, then we do not have the capacity to extend that to someone else. All we are doing is walking around here thinking about ourselves on a daily basis all throughout the day. What am I going to eat? What do I need to do now? All you're doing is thinking about yourself the whole time. And let somebody else come to your mind. You probably will not stop to what you're doing to tend to that person. We have an epidemic, folks. And I realized that about my life. That is who I was. I was that person that walked around aimlessly, that did not care about other people, that did not have time for other people, that did not want to even associate or socialize with other people. So, I ask you again, are you genuinely interested in others, in the aspects of their life, their upbringing, their passions? Where are they going in life? Are you interested in them? So when I began loving others genuinely, it fostered more personal growth. It also enriched my life by reducing the stress. It increased my feelings of purpose. It boosted my mental health, my physical health, and spiritual health. It also, as you know, built up my empathy and my compassion for others, and it improved my self-esteem and my connection to the world. This is what loving others does for you. I'm sharing my experience, but this is what it creates. This is what it fosters. So are you ready for love? Loving others is just like a mirror. When you are able to look in the mirror at yourself, this is why we talked about this. This is exactly why I gave you a little bit of homework to look yourself in the mirror and find something that you appreciate about yourself every day. But loving yourself is like that. When you're able to look in the mirror at yourself and love you for who you are, as you are, then you can look at others in the same way. Loving others is more as almost like it's a reflection, right? So you can imagine others as a reflection of you or a shadow that's following your behind around everywhere you go. Have you ever been around someone and you realize, dang, man, this person kind of reminds me of myself a little bit? Well, there you go. Shadows, reflections. However, first, you have to be genuinely in love with yourself. You have to be genuinely interested in yourself to be able to have that genuine love for others and an interest in others. It comes from you. then you'll be able to actually see that. You'll be able to see that in other people. You'll be like, oh my God, they're just a reflection of me. You'll be in amazement. You'll be in awe. You'll be enlightened. But until then, you will see yourself as separate from others. Yes. You'll see yourself not like others, better than others, worse than others, smarter than others, faster than others, slower than others, greater than others, smaller than others, less than others, better than others. This will continue. It will continue and go on all your life until you love yourself genuinely. And I'm not talking about, oh, Kareem, you better believe I love myself. Look at me. Woo, look at me. Have you seen me? Look at how pretty I am. Look at how handsome I am. How fit I am. How in shape I am. Look at my eyelashes. Look at my hair. Look at this. Have you seen me, Kareem? Oh, yeah, I love myself. And that's probably what you're saying to me right now as you're listening. Oh, man, this guy don't know what he's talking about. I love myself. Look at me. Have you seen me? Ooh. Ooh. Anybody will want this. Ooh. Nope. I don't want you because you're arrogant. I'm not talking about that. No, because all of that is physical and it's on the outside. Plus, it is arrogant. It is not love. It is vanity, which is produced normally from a low self-esteem, low self-worth. Don't make me go there with you. Vanity is produced from low self-esteem, low self-worth, low self-respect, and the seeking of validation and the acceptance and the approval and the love from others. That's what you are looking for, and that all stems from the lack of love for yourself. Instead, you are being the opposite of love because truthfully, you dislike yourself very much. So you can say back to me all you want to. Oh, Kareem, have you seen me? Oh, look at me. I'm this, that, and the third. Yeah. Because you truly, on the inside, do not like yourself. So you are looking for my approval, for my validation. You're looking for that from the world. You know how I know that? Because that's who I used to be. You guys know that if you've been with me for 61 episodes, 61 conversations, you know that about me. All I did was seek validation and approval and acceptance from other people because I had a low self-esteem. I had low self-worth. I had low self-respect. I did not know who I really was. And we're talking about the inside here. And that's why you need all that stuff. That's why you need the fake eyelashes that are extremely long. That's why you need the weave. I'm talking about everybody. That's why you need the tan. That's why you got to wear your pants way below your waist and sag them. That's why you are doing the whatever. You are doing the whatever everyone else in the world is doing. The new trend, the fad, the latest fashion. You are doing the whatever everyone else is doing on social media. This is the reason why. Because you do not love yourself. I'm going to tell you just exactly how it is. Because I am not here to sugarcoat anything with you. And the reason why is because I love your behind. And I will love you until you love yourself. You're doing all that in order to receive love, in order to receive acceptance. And you're still part of the circus show. You see, what happened to me is I made my exit, stage left, out of the circus. I said, I no longer perform for you. You can all be clowns if you want to. You can all be trapeze artists if you want. I'm going to be myself because I now like myself and love myself. And I am okay with me. And if you are not, so what? So as I discussed with you previously, you realize that this outside crap doesn't matter as much. You realize that loving yourself is more of the inside out. It's more of an inside job. It comes from within. No one can give you that love that you need to have for yourself. I mean, they can love you, but it looks different than the love that you need for yourself. Prime example would be my experience. That's why I'm sharing it with you. The things that I was doing to myself, the way that I was harming myself, the way that I thought about myself, and then my self-hatred, my self-loathing continued to lead me to destruction, wreckage. And that continuum of wrecking myself and my life. Why? Because I could care less about me. Then, which led to me wrecking your life. Why? Because I could care less about you. In fact, you are the reason I hate myself. You are the reason my life sucks. You are the reason I'm in jail. You are the reason I'm like this. You're the reason I'm in hell. You're the reason my life is a living hell. It's all because of you. Folks, don't you see the pattern here? This is the pattern of your life until you decide to stop it and love yourself. Okay, so let's move on. Now, when I was ready for love and I began loving others, it also helped me to confront myself. It allowed me to face myself or face my shadow. You know, those hidden aspects, those character flaws that I may have. Helped me to look at those things, which led me to more personal growth. In other words, it helped me to take time to look inside so that the wreckage can begin to clear. Also, my focus was shifting. It was a constant shift away from the self-obsession, away from, hey, what about Kareem? Kareem has this to do. Kareem has this on his mind. Kareem, to other people. What is it that they need? Forget about me right now. Right? So it was a constant shift away from self to the caring of others or the caring for others, which provided more of a sense of purpose for me. You know, I began to just have a purpose in life. I began to realize that my purpose is for love. I am here to serve. I am here to love. Period. I was sitting here on purpose for a purpose, and that purpose is love. And lastly, it increased my capacity for understanding, kindness, which we talked about on the episode or conversation about have some compassion, will you? Which in that it reduced and deflated my ego and promoted a more connected existence. See, because I used to think of myself lowly or highly or better or worse. Plain and simply put, separate. I was separate from every existing being. And when you begin loving yourself, you will begin to see the oneness, the interconnectedness of it all. And to end this conversation, I'll ask you again, are you ready for love? And I want you to answer that question honestly, because see, some of you are not. Some of you are still so caught up in yourself that you're like, nah, screw them. I got way too much crap going on in my life. I got way too much to deal with. I'm depressed over here, and you're talking about I need to be ready for love. I hate myself. I can't even get out of the bed. I don't love myself. So, no, Kareem, to answer your question, I am not ready for love. Can somebody please love me while I'm sitting here wallowing in my self-pity? Can somebody please do something for me? You may be at that place in your life. I'll tell you what, though, you're not alone, because I was there before. I walked a mile in your shoes. And I will say this to you, that there are people out there who need love. There are people, in fact, out there who need your love. And I will also tell you this. You, your very self, needs your love. You, your very self, needs your compassion, needs your grace, needs your affection, your care. But by loving others, we break down selfish barriers. And in turn, we learn to not only accept ourselves, which leads us to a more profound, fulfilled, abundant life, but it also leads us to accepting other people just as they are, right where they are. Not trying to change them, but just love them. I want you to think about some of the people in your life who love you just as you are. They're not trying to change you or control you. They just love you. I mean, it could be a family member, of course, but think about those people. And then I want you to think about the effect that it has on you personally. The effect that it has on you when you are around that person that you just know, man, this person freaking loves me. I feel it. I'm surrounded by it. I'm engulfed by their love. I know for a fact, for sure, that this person loves me. How does it affect you? Now, I want you to think about that this week. I also want you to think about some of the people that we know who, we call them public figures or whatever, but they were just people. These people were just ordinary people. Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, El-Hajj Malik Shabazz, that's Malcolm X for y'all who don't know his real name, Mother Teresa, Harriet Tubman, Maya Angelou. I mean, I could go on and on. Muhammad Gandhi. I can go on and on. There's so many people. Yeshua himself. The one that you like to call Jesus. That person. They all have something in common. Can you guess what they have in common? They love themselves first. That's really how you know about them. And you may say, nah, Kareem, I know Martin Luther King Jr. because of his Civil Rights Act, because of his I Have a Dream speech. Yeah, but what was in that I Have a Dream speech? Where did that I Have a Dream speech come from? It came from the love that he had for himself. And then he was able to extend that to the people and extend that to the world. Did you see the pattern that this one man created? He loved himself. He extended that to another person. Then that person felt that love and extended that to another person. Then that person felt that love and extended that to another person. And then a whole movement was started. Yes. That is what love does, my friends. Love produces growth. Love breaks down barriers. Let's think about Malcolm X, for instance. He was involved. I'll give you the history just in case you don't know nothing about it. He was involved in the Nation of Islam first. The Nation of Islam was only made up of blacks. And their whole thing was the white man is the devil. I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it with you so you can know. So it was all about separation. All about separation. And then he went on a pilgrimage. He went over to the Middle East. He went over to Mecca. And he saw all of these different races of people worshiping the same God. He said, whoa, I love myself enough to go back. I love myself enough to accept myself as I am. And when I get back to the States, I love myself enough to stand up for myself and to stand up for what is right. That's the reason why he got shot. That's the reason, because the love that he had for himself, he loved someone else. He extended that to someone else, and then someone else shared that love, and then there was a whole movement about to start, and they didn't want that. And so he got killed. That's why most of these people that you know about end up dying or end up getting killed, because they eventually come into the love of themselves, and then they extend that to someone else, and someone else extends that to someone else, and someone else extends that to someone else, and then, oh my God, love is fierce. Love will tear down walls. Love will tear down buildings. Yes. So are you ready for love? The world needs you. As I always leave you, take some time to look inside so that the wreckage can begin to clear. Peace.